to make rivets, I need a couple of things. First, I need 2 pieces of sheet metal that have holes in them, made from the drill press. And then I need a piece of 14 gauge wire, a small piece. So you can cut the 14 gauge wire with these large wire cutters. They're in the tool bin. And before I start to make my rivet, which is like a double-headed nail that will hold these 2 pieces of metal together, I need to just make sure that the wire on the top is flush or straight. Sometimes the wire cutters do not cut it very evenly or it gets squished. So I'm just going to flatten it to begin. Okay, now I'm going to put it in this clamp, and there's clamps at your table as well that you can use. And I'm going to make sure that the wire is straight up and down and it's in there really tight. Okay, this is your rivet hammer. You're going to use the flat side. What you are going to do is begin to hit the wire head with the hammer, and you're going to hit it and kind of go out, and then you're going to work in a circle, hitting and going out all the way around. Okay, what you should see is sort of like a mushroom cap starting to form on the wire. Okay, and that's like the nail head. So I'm going to start hitting this and working off into a circle. Okay, this is starting to bend a little bit. So I'm going to just work it back up. Make sure it's real tight. Okay, and so you'll have to take a close look and see if it is beginning to umbrella out. It looks like this is. Okay, so now I'm going to take it out of the vise, out of the clamp. And I'm going to clip it so that it is pretty small. Okay, now it's going to be going into these 2 pieces of brass. So I want to make sure that it's not too big. You don't want to have too much stuff left over, because then you'll end up with a sloppy, real large rivet. So you can see how big that is when it just sits inside of there. So I'm going to cut it significantly smaller. And now I'm going to put the nail side down and feed the brass through. Oops. These little guys can be tricky to get, so just hang on to them as best as you can. There we go. Okay. So now you can see how small that is. It'll make a perfect head for the other side. Now this part, be careful because your fingers are going to be right here holding it. You're just going to, work really carefully and start to rotate it around so you're not hitting your fingers. Remember, hit it and work off of the nail head, rivet head. Okay, and you can see that it should stay in there well now. I'm gonna just kind of like flip it over and look and see if the rivet heads are gonna be the same size. So I'm working on the opposite side now. Okay, and I'm going to finish on this side. Until the rivet is tight. Okay, so I'm going to a little bit more flatten it, and then I should be good. Okay, so the metal doesn't move, it's not twisty at all anymore. Okay, so you can see the rivet head on each side, they're relatively the same size. Okay, and that's riveting. Riveting is considered what's called a cold connection because you're not using heat like soldering to connect metal.